guys, Southampton have just beaten Manchester City in the League Cup quarter-final, which is an amazing achievement. I don't think anyone predicted this going into the game because of how poor Southampton have been for the majority of this season, but they keep going in the Cups. They're through to the semi-final of this, through to the round of 32 in the FA Cup. So yeah, it's been a good season cup-wise for Southampton, but nobody saw this result coming. And to be fair, Southampton, they fully deserved it. They were the better side in this game. First half in particular, it was complete domination. Man City created very few opportunities. In fact, I don't think they even had a shot on target or a proper one anyway. In the first half, it was just very dominant from Southampton. And I get that Man City started a weakened team, but it's not as weakened as many people are making it out to be, because you look at the players in that starting 11, you've got Foden, you've got Grealish, Gundogan, as well as Kyle Walker, João Cancelo, Laporte. You know, that's at least 6 players who are in contention for a starting place in the team. The only players you would consider players who don't really start are Ortega, Gomez, Calvin Phillips, even Julian Alvarez. He's not far off a starting place. In fact, it's only Haaland keeping him out of the team. So yeah, there's only really Gomez, Ortega, Phillips and Cole Palmer who aren't really starters in that team. So it was a really impressive achievement for Southampton to manage to win this game, given in particular the fact that they were missing, you know, a lot of their key players. For injury, they are missing quite a few, and yeah, really big achievement this for Southampton. So fair play to them. They started off the better side, and continued with that. They got the opening goal through Sekou Mara, and the goal, I felt it maybe shows the weakness of having Kyle Walker playing centre back now. I can understand why Guardiola's done it, because Walker has played as part of a back three many times for England, and also I think we've seen a few times this season, or I think the biggest case anyway, is Luke Shaw playing at centre back for Man United, and it seemed to work really well. This game, it showed that Kyle Walker just hasn't got the defensive awareness, in my opinion, to be a centre back, and I think that is a criticism you can make of Kyle Walker throughout his career. But the fortunate thing that Kyle Walker's always had is that extra, I was going to say yard of pace, but it's more like 5 yards, isn't it? So that he can definitely make up for that. And I think his positioning's improved throughout his career, but I still think it is below par to be a centre-back, if that makes sense, because he let Mara get way too far in front of him, and yeah, allowed him to hit it on the turn. And it was a brilliant finish from Mara, and what a way to, and what an occasion as well to score his first goal for Southampton. And the second goal from Moussa Djenepo was brilliant, running with the ball towards the box, and spots some poor positioning from Ortega. Now, Ortega hasn't had many games for Man City. He's obviously going to be the backup to Ederson in this Man City team, and yeah, God knows what he's doing with his positioning there, because it's a well taken goal by Djenepo, but for a goal that's outside the box, that's gone, you know, in the corner of the goal, it's not a great, like, amazing goal, because it's just so poor, the goalkeeping. It's still a very good goal, don't get me wrong. Djenepo had to have the invention, or maybe not invention, but the balls basically to pull it off, because it was there for him, and he did it, so, and executed it really well. So fair play to him. And he had a brilliant game, by the way, Moussa Djenepo, on the left, unfortunately, on the right, sorry, and unfortunately though, he did have to come off injured, which was a real shame, because I think he got man of the match by Sky, awarded to him in the end. So yeah, really good performance, and pretty much the entire Southampton team put up a really good display. There were very few moments where they looked a bit dodgy at the back or anything. Like even in the second half when City started bringing on their players, Kevin De Bruyne coming on, Akanji, Ake, Haaland all coming on. they still defended really solidly. The back three, well, the back three of centre backs with Lianco, Chaletasar, and Salisu, just like they're three very big defenders, and it's just like the box was that crowded for Man City that they just really struggled to play through it. And the midfield as well, Diallo, Lavia, and Ward-Prowse were doing that much work in front of the defence that usually City, if a team sits back and puts lots of bodies in the box, Man City can usually just about do enough to break that down. But with the amount of runners and amount of energy that Southampton had in midfield, they couldn't do that. They just didn't have the time on the ball for players towards the last half an hour of the game, like De Bruyne, Rodri, Gundogan, to pick out these passes. So yeah, it was a really good game plan from Southampton, and I think Nathan Jones, the manager, definitely deserves a lot of credit for trying this, because not many managers would be brave enough to do this against such a brilliant Manchester City team. And the subs that Man City brought on, Haaland, I didn't think made a massive impact, because he thrives on having space to run into, or he thrives on finding the space in the box to get on the end of the cross or something like that. But he just couldn't find it, because that's how well the Southampton centre-backs were positioning themselves in the second half in defence. And yeah, it was just an amazing all-round performance. And even the goalkeeper, Gavin Bazunu, got sold by Man City in the summer after a really good loan spell at Portsmouth. And I suspect he felt he had a point to prove in this game. He didn't want to be spending some vital years in his career being just the backup to Ederson, so he managed to get the move away to a Premier League club, and was absolutely amazing in this game, especially second half. The amount of crucial saves, or maybe not saves, but more like interceptions he made. There weren't actually that many saves for him to make, but the amount of times he'd gather across or do something like that was splendid, really. Really good performance from him. But yeah, the problem Man City are facing is, at the moment, Calvin Phillips. That was his first start for Man City, and it was far from impressive, really. And there's also a couple of other players I think in that team who really didn't play well. Cancelo, I thought, at right back, I thought he was poor defensively, and I think there's been occasions this season where his defensive weakness has really been shown up, because even in this game I think he got done for 2 foul throws, which was ridiculous, really. Gomez at left back I thought was poor, and even Cole Palmer, who is a player I really like, I didn't think he played well, but then again I do prefer him playing out on the right wing, if because I just think that suits his game a bit more. I find him a very similar player to Riyad Mahrez, and you wouldn't stick Riyad Mahrez in central midfield, so I think that was a bit of a bizarre decision from Pep, but brilliant performance from Southampton. We'll get into player ratings. We'll start off with Southampton. Gavin Bazunu, I've given a 7. I've already said, really good performance, kept a clean sheet, didn't have loads of saves to make, but dealt with everything that he needed to. And then my man of the match I've given to Lianco, 8. I just thought, in games like this, it's crucial to have get the fans going. And Lianco not only defended brilliantly, passed the ball brilliantly, but also had moments of just pure passion and aggression when needed to lift the fans, and that it really helped Southampton in this game, because chasing down Manchester City players is a lot easier when you've got 25,000, 30,000 people screaming at you to do so. And then Chaletasar I've given a 7 as well. Really good defending from him, similar to Lianco, but I had to pick someone. And then Salisu I've given a 6, because there was a couple of dodgy moments he had throughout the game. This might be a bit harsh, but he did defend really well, so he definitely made up for it. But if there was one weakness in the Southampton team, I thought it might have been him. And then pretty much everyone in midfield I've given sevens to. In fact, most of the rest of the team I've given sevens to, actually. Actually, everyone else has got 7. Kyle Walker-Peters, Lavia, Diallo, Genepo, Ward-Prowse, Armstrong, Mara, all got 7s. I've already said how I felt the midfield was working really hard, but I would like to point out Kyle Walker-Peters in particular, actually, because he did have to swap positions after Genepo went off for Perro. Obviously, Perro can't play on the right. He's very much a left back or a left wing back, so Walker-Peters had to go to the other side of the pitch and still played really well, so I think he deserves an extra bit of credit for that. Genepo, I've already said how good he was. And then Armstrong not only attacked well when going forward, but also did the defensive side of his game, which is something we haven't really had the chance to see from him, because he was playing in a different position style. He wasn't really playing as a striker, he was playing as more coming out to the left, whereas Mara was playing through the middle, because I think with Genepo he sort of plays a bit further forward on the right than Walker-Peters did on the left for the first hour of the game. Obviously Walker-Peters has got a bit more, he's going to be a bit more defensive minded, so yeah, that definitely worked in Nathan Jones' favour. And Sekou Mara I've given a 7 as well. Took his goal really well and was a constant problem for Man City whilst he was on the pitch. And then finally Perro I've given a 6, just a solid performance when he came on the pitch. And then finally on to Manchester City's team. Ortega I've given a 5, huge mistake for their second goal, so yeah, can't really give him more than that. And then Cancelo and Walker I've given 5s as well, and Sergio Gomez, because it just wasn't good enough defensively. Cancelo was making errors throughout the game, and Walker, just poor for the first goal. I felt not tracking his man, and Gomez just loses the ball too easily at left back, and I've seen Guardiola criticise him recently as well. So I'm not sure if he's going to get too many more chances. He needs to start pulling his weight, I think. And then Laporte I've given a 6. I thought he had a solid game for Man City. I don't think he did too much wrong, and some of his passing was quite good as well, so I'll give him a 6. And then midfield, Palmer and Phillips I've given 5s. Palmer, on the few occasions he managed to get forward in the first half, he just gave the ball away too cheaply, and stopped a few Manchester City attacks coming to anything. So yeah, not his game. But then again, I felt he was, as I've already said, playing out of position. Phillips have given a 5. To me, it just looks like a bit of a, I don't know, poor transfer at the moment. It just doesn't seem to be working. I could be proven wrong, but he hasn't had that many chances in where he's had a decent amount of minutes. I think he's only had, before tonight, 90 minutes in this entire season. So yeah, I didn't think he should have been in the England squad, to be honest, based on that statistic alone. But yeah, not a good showing tonight. Gundogan have given a 6, as well as Foden. I felt those two in midfield, they weren't too bad. Got forward on a few occasions and looked like making something happen, which the rest of the Man City team, especially in the first half, definitely didn't. And then Alvarez and Grealish have given 5s, just so little impact on the game, to be honest. And Alvarez did waste a good opportunity early on in the second half too, where he missed the target. And then subs, Ake and Akanji have given 6s, definitely made Man City a bit more solid at the back, so they deserve a bit of credit for that. De Bruyne I've given a 7. I thought he was Manchester City's best player when he came on the pitch, created a couple of chances for the team, and they were chances that on another day City could have scored from, so yeah, definitely City's best player. And then Haaland I've given a 5, just because of the lack of impact he actually had on the game when he came onto the pitch. But yeah, really good performance from Southampton. One to forget for Man City. I'm sure they'll move on from this. But anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.